An expert on opiate addiction visits Athens today to speak about how the community can stand up against the opioid crisis. Hear his message. The death tolls are rising in Northern California as firefighters continue to fight the wildfires. We have the latest.
And in sports, the Indians are entering Game 5, win or go home. Newswatch starts right now.
Broadcasting live from WOUB TV in Athens, this is Newswatch.
With opioid overdoses dramatically increasing in Ohio, communities are reaching out in a non-traditional way to battle the epidemic. Good evening, I'm Jacob Solether. Thanks for joining us. On average, approximately 8 people die each day in Ohio due to unintentional drug overdoses. Author Sam Quinones is in Nelsonville for a question and answer regarding his book Dreamland, which is a timeline of the opioid addiction in America. WOUP reporter Chelsea Sick is live at Nelsonville York High School to tell us more.
Thanks, Jacob. It is a packed house in the Nelsonville York Auditorium where the question and answer session began just about 15 minutes ago. Earlier this afternoon, Quinones addressed students and faculty at Ohio University's Athens campus. The question is, how did the opioid crisis of this size even become possible, and how do we end it? The Ohio Health Department says 4,050 people died of opioid overdoses in Ohio just last year. Quinones says he is not the best at making predictions, but he believes there's only one way to solve the epidemic.
Well, I would say that I've seen one thing overall that you see repeated over and over, and that is communities understanding that isolation is how this happened. That isolation in a number of forms and facets, and that the only way to combat it is to bring all the talent that you have in a county, or as much of the talent as you possibly can, in a county together to discuss how they might work.
Quinones will be at the Athens Community Center on Friday at 9 a.m. It is free and open to human service professionals. Reporting live at Nelsonville York High School, I'm Chelsea Sick.
Thanks, Chelsea. Meigs County first suspected case of West Nile virus has been confirmed today. This confirmed case of a 74-year-old has resulted in a fatality. Ohio has had 4 West Nile viruses related to deaths in 2016 and 2 in 2015. The primary way that people get West Nile virus is through the bite of an infected mosquito. Most people infected with the virus do not show any symptoms. To decrease your chances of being bit, you can use mosquito repellent and wear long sleeves and pants. The City of Athens will funnel more money to the Athens County Visitors Bureau. Prior to Monday, the city gave 35% of the revenue from its transient guest tax. Mayor Steve Patterson told council members Monday the amount needs to be changed to 50% according to the Ohio Revised Code. The additional 15% will boost money going to the Visitors Bureau from about $146,000 to an estimated $209,000 annually. Athens City Auditor Kathy Heck says the increase to 50% must be made official through a council ordinance. Local non-emergency transportation services may be at risk as the Ohio General Assembly shifts its funds from the Department of Job and Family Services to the state on July 1st. The director of the Athens County DJFS, Scott Zielinski, told the Athens County Commissioners the shift will amount to a cut in local service funds, which the department uses for gas vouchers, transportation of Medicaid clients to medical appointments, and transportation to services such as children's services. In an interview with WOUB, Zielinski said the shift will also make coordination with local entities more difficult.
What they will lose is the ability to coordinate with other local providers and a real investment in this local community about what's best for this local community. Athens County is a lot different than every county around here. Each county is unique in their barriers and their strengths of what they can provide. So I think the only guarantee out of the system is that loss of local flexibility to be able to work with other providers that care about Medicaid recipients.
The Ohio General Assembly's budget shift will be in full effect starting July of 2018. A man in prison for the murder of an Ohio University student back in 1984 has parole hearing this month. John Sailors Jr., 53, has been in prison for 32 years for the murder of a 22-year-old bobcat, Stuart Mandelson, who bled to death after being stabbed in the neck in front of the Athens County Courthouse. The hearing is set for October 27th, according to a spokeswoman for the Ohio Department of Rehabilitation and Correction.
Welcome back to the Newswatch Weather Center. I'm Jordan Vanacek here with a look at current temperatures around the region. Right now, 79 degrees with mostly sunny skies across the area. Wind west 6 miles per hour. Dew point around 56 degrees, and our pressure is high right now at 30.00 inches, keeping those conditions pretty nice for our region. Looking at our temperatures across southeast Ohio, mainly in the upper 70s, 79 in Athens, 77 Newark, and up down to 72 in Columbus. That is due to a cold front that is making its way through southern Ohio, and that will make its way into our region later overnight. But expecting a pretty nice night, looking at temperatures dipping down into upper 50s and mid 50s as we progress into the evening hours, with patchy fog possible as we continue into the overnight. Back to you, Jacob.
Thanks, Jordan. Dr. Buck Jennings has been appointed to the West Virginia House of Delegates. Governor Jim Justice announced Jennings' appointment yesterday to the 53rd District seat, which covers Preston and Tucker counties. The seat was formerly held by Tony Lewis, who Jennings lost to in the 2016 Republican primary. Jennings is a paramedic and longtime member of the Fellowsville Fire Department. Parents and teachers near Akron are on the lookout for a drone, specifically a voice on a drone that many believe is trying to convince kids to leave an Ohio neighborhood. Melissa Reed reports.
Windermere Community Learning Center is a quiet neighborhood school in Akron, but school officials are on alert after reports of a drone allegedly attempting to lure kids off school grounds.
3 to 4 times within the past week that they have seen a drone that has been up near my playground.
According to Principal Megan Lee Wilfong, the drone was spotted by both kids and adults during the evenings and over this past weekend.
They shared with me that this drone had some type of voice capability, that it was actually communicating with the kids that were up here playing. So it was talking to them.
Lee Wilfong says several witnesses have claimed the voices even tried to get kids off the playground.
Absolute panic, for one. Just want to make sure, even though I'm not here, in the evenings and on the weekends, but they're still my students. So I wanted to make sure that they're okay.
Drones are appearing everywhere and raising many legal questions. At this time, there are no unique drone laws in Ohio. However, the Federal Aviation Administration requires all drone owners to receive a certificate of aircraft registration and proof of ownership, including an identification number for the aircraft. All drones must be registered before their first flight. A wildfire is forcing thousands out of their homes in Northern California, and the number is still rising. And the death toll continues to rise in Puerto Rico as millions still suffer in the aftermath of Hurricane Maria. Stick with us for the latest. Harvey Weinstein, these stories and more when Newswatch returns.
University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
Hey everybody, I'm Gridiron Glory host Joseph Payton. Every Friday night live at 11:30, we will have a jam-packed show for you with everything that went down on the local gridiron that night. From every touchdown pass to every crushing hit, Gridiron Glory is your #1 source for all things Southeast Ohio football. So please be sure to tune into our show and also follow us on Twitter and Snapchat at Gridiron Glory, and of course like us on Facebook. I promise you won't want to miss out, because remember, there's nothing better than Friday nights and Gridiron Glory.
I knew that I wanted to come to Ohio University from the very first time I visited here.
There's something about the campus that grabs you.
It was really comforting.
Very welcoming.
It's one thing to write down your name and your GPA
GPA and that kind of stuff and send it in. It's another thing entirely to be here and see how great it is.
The campus here is just electric.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Everything just looked really college-like.
I looked at my mom and I said, "This is it." And she said, "The tour's just started." I said, "No, you don't understand. This is it."
My professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything.
Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
At least 21 people are dead, with thousands forced from their homes by wildfires raging across Northern California. Firefighters are putting up a valiant effort against the blazes, which have consumed nearly 170,000 acres. Omar Jimenez is in Santa Rosa with the latest.
We are very concerned about all the fire lines because of the wind they're anticipating.
With thousands already evacuated, Northern California officials are warning the wildfire threat isn't over and telling people get ready to get out.
If you have a place to go, go. The less people here and the less people we have to evacuate, the better off we're going to be. So this is still a very serious event. Life safety is what matters right now.
Dangerous wildfires have already burned around 170,000 acres across the state, with the most serious in Sonoma, Napa, and Mendocino counties.
The fire is still not under control, but we're able to watch it. We've got 500 crews here.
Some residents had very little notice before they had to leave. Ernest Chapman says it was his dogs that woke him up.
My one dog, she's really alert to things. She started barking and just wanting me to check on stuff. It was really windy. I went out front, winds blowing, embers dropping everywhere, and just grabbed my keys, my truck, and my dogs and took off.
Like so many, his house is completely destroyed, but he's determined to rebuild.
I'm just glad to be here, glad to have my dogs. You know, you can replace the stuff, but life's most important.
In Santa Rosa, I'm Omar Jimenez.
Winds are expected to pick back up today. Officials say almost 5,000 firefighters are there trying to contain the blaze. A very powerful man has a mythic fall from grace. 24 women have come forward saying Harvey Weinstein harassed them earlier in their careers. 3 women are even accusing him of rape. As allegations mount, there are questions about whether Weinstein could face criminal charges. John Lorink reports.
Harvey Weinstein's charmed life quickly becoming a cautionary tale. More people are coming out with rape and assault allegations against the former film titan.
I pulled my arm away, finally, and headed to the door. He started following me and telling me that he could introduce me to Bob Weinstein and that I could get a 3-picture deal and that he would greenlight my script.
Actresses Gwyneth Paltrow and Angelina Jolie also accused Weinstein of harassment in the New York Times. Others made claims against Weinstein in The New Yorker, including Rosanna Arquette and Mira Sorvino.
Many of these women feared the power that Mr. Weinstein had and were concerned that if they took legal action or spoke out, that he could ruin their careers.
And the backlash has grown, especially from the political world. Former President Barack Obama issued a statement that said he and former First Lady Michelle Obama were disgusted by the recent reports about Weinstein. And former presidential candidate Hillary Clinton also blasted her former friend, saying she was shocked and appalled by the revelations about Harvey Weinstein. Weinstein has donated money to both Obama and Clinton, as well as Senator Chuck Schumer, who said he was going to give those funds to New York charities.
I do not think that Harvey Weinstein understands or comprehends how much pain and suffering this brings to me and scores of other women.
Meanwhile, Georgina Chapman, Weinstein's wife, released a statement to People magazine Tuesday saying she is leaving her husband. I'm John Lawrence reporting.
A spokeswoman for Weinstein issued a statement denying rape allegations. She also confirmed that Weinstein will be going to rehab. Hurricane Maria's wrath has now claimed the lives of 45 people in Puerto Rico, according to the governor's press office. 113 other people remain unaccounted for nearly 3 weeks after the devastating hurricane swept through the island. Maria was the first Category 4 hurricane to directly impact the island in 85 years.
more than 86% of our population is without power. More than 44% is without running water. The hospitals, there's 4 hospitals that are being closed. At this time, the dialysis center are operating in generators, and that means lives are at risk.
There are more than 11 bridges and roads that are completely destroyed, and even with the support from FEMA, the residents still say the situation is in dire need. President Trump is pushing back on an NBC News report that he wants to increase the nation's nuclear stockpile tenfold. Trump spoke to reporters today during an appearance with Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau.
I want to have absolutely perfectly maintained, which we are in the process of doing, nuclear force. But when they said I want 10 times what we have right now, it's totally unnecessary, believe me, because I know what we have right now.
You want no increase whatsoever, you're happy?
We won't need an increase, but I want modernization and I want total rehabilitation. It's got to be in tip-top shape.
Secretary of Defense James Mattis also denied the NBC report, calling this kind of erroneous reporting irresponsible. A puppy in Cincinnati is on the road to recovery after fighting a massive tumor. You don't want to miss his brave battle next on Newswatch.
And we have a beautiful weekend in store, and fall temperatures will make their way back into the region next week. I'll have that and your 7-day forecast next on Newswatch. But first, here's a look at stocks of local interest.
Professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything.
Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
Ohio University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
I knew that I wanted to come to Ohio University from the very first time I visited here.
There's something about the campus that grabs you.
It was really comforting.
Very welcoming.
It's one thing to write down your name and your GPA and that kind of stuff and send it in. It's another thing entirely to be here and see how great it is.
The campus here is just electric.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Everything just looked really college-like.
I looked at my mom and I said, "This is it." And she said, "The tour's just started." I said, "No, you don't understand. This is it."
Hey everybody, I'm Gridiron Glory host Joseph Payton. Every Friday night live at 11:30, we will have a jam-packed show for you with everything that went down on the local gridiron that night. From every touchdown pass to every crushing hit, Gridiron Glory is your #1 source for all things Southeast Ohio football. So please be sure to tune into our show and also follow us on Twitter and Snapchat at Gridiron Glory, and of course like us on Facebook. I promise you won't want to miss out, because remember, there's nothing better than Friday nights and Gridiron Glory. And welcome back to the Newswatch Weather Center. I'm Jordan Vanacek. Looking at temperatures right now, 79 degrees currently in Athens under mostly sunny skies. Winds out of the west at around 6 miles per hour. Humidity's at 43% and our pressure is at 30.00 inches, keeping the skies really nice outside. Looking at tonight for Athens, 54 degrees. Skies turning cloudy overnight with patchy fog developing later in the overnight hours. A west wind 0 to 5 miles per hour, but that will turn to calm as the evening progresses. Looking at our precipcast, we have a low pressure centered just east of our area, which brought that rain we had earlier this afternoon. But take a look at this high pressure, because that's going to start making its way closer into our region this weekend, which will
bring us some very nice weather. But looking at tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. at our bus stop, 54 degrees. Again, patchy fog is possible across the region. If you're not under cloud, or if you're not having fog, you're probably going to be in some cloudy conditions. Wind will remain calm through the morning and into tomorrow as temperatures bump up into 70 degrees. Again, mostly cloudy skies, maybe some peaks of sun, especially later in the afternoon and evening hours, and a lot cooler than it was today, and it'll be a lot more comfortable as well. And then across the region tomorrow, temperatures mainly in the 70s, 70 in Athens, up to 60 or down to 68 in Newark, 70 Columbus, 71 in Ironton, and 72 in Ripley. And then looking at our extended forecast, we are looking at some clearing skies as we head into the weekend. Saturday and Sunday are looking very nice indeed, with temperatures in the low 80s. But we are looking at a front that will be making its way into the region Sunday night, with bringing with it a chance for rain and even some thunderstorms. And again, Sunday looking at some breezy conditions as well. So be on the lookout Sunday. The beginning of Sunday looks really nice, but again, looking at Sunday night, be prepared for some rain. But looking into Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, fall weather will be making its return back into Athens with temperatures in the low to mid 60s and skies mainly sunny for those 3 days. Jake, back to you.
Thanks, Jordan. Animal rescue workers in Cincinnati say a dog is on the road to recovery after enduring a massive 6-pound tumor. The tumor was so big it dragged on the ground as 1-year-old Clyde walked. This 4-legged friend was left at the Gallatin County Animal Shelter for dead, with instructions to euthanize. Gallatin County Animal Shelter employees worked hard to find him a rescue and brought Clyde to the County Animal Hospital in Mason for help. And after 2 hours of surgery, they removed the tumor.
The next step that we have for him is getting a biopsy done. Basically, the biopsy will tell us a little bit better about the mass, what we're dealing with.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Kellyanne States, and we have plenty of sports action for you. First up, President Trump comments on NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell's letter addressing recent protests during the national anthem. Find out his reaction. Time. Stay tuned to find out what happened. Stay on your public television station.
Everybody, I'm Gridiron Glory host Joseph Payton. Every Friday night, live at 11:30, we will have a jam-packed show for you with everything that went down on the local gridiron that night. From every touchdown pass to every crushing hit, Gridiron Glory is your #1 source for all things Southeast Ohio football. So please be sure to tune into our show and also follow us on Twitter and Snapchat at Gridiron Glory, and of course like us on Facebook. I promise you won't want to miss out, because remember, there's nothing better than Friday nights and Gridiron Glory.
Ohio University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
My professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything.
Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
I knew that I wanted to come to Ohio University from the very first time I visited here.
There's something about the campus that grabs you.
It was really comforting.
Very welcoming.
It's one thing to write down your name and your GPA GPA and that kind of stuff and send it in. It's another thing entirely to be here and see how great it is.
The campus here is just electric.
Absolutely gorgeous. Everything just looked really college-like.
I looked at my mom and I said, "This is it." And she said, "The tour's just started." I said, "No, you don't understand. This is it."
Hey, welcome back. I'm Kellyanne Stitz. One of the biggest upsets in U.S. sports history happened last night. For the first time since the 1986 cycle, the U.S. national soccer team is eliminated from the World Cup. The upset blew up on social media, is now known as the most embarrassing defeat in U.S. soccer history. The United States national team fell to Trinidad and Tobago 2-1 last night. It was supposed to be an easy win for the U.S., but the team made no effort in the first 45 minutes of the game. TNT put 2 goals on the board during the second half, and the rest was history. TNT will move on to qualify for the World Cup. On to some other sports news. In the light of the national anthem protests and the league's ongoing feud with President Trump, NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell sent out a letter to NFL executives last night addressing the protests. Goodell makes it clear in the letter that players will be required to stand during the national anthem. The president took to Twitter to comment on the situation. President Trump stated, "It is about time that Roger Goodell of the NFL is finally demanding that all players stand for our great national anthem. Respect our country." A meeting will be held between Goodell and NFL owners later this week to discuss the topic further. Bringing it back to the Bobcats, 10 Ohio softball players are named 2016-2017 NCAA Division I Scholar Athletes. Kudos all around to Ohio's Madison Clater, who hit a career-high 9 home runs this season, Deanna Cole, who started 21 games at center field, Alex Day, who was 4 for 4 on stolen bases this season, Michaela Dorsey, who also played in 13 games for Ohio, Casey Hutchinson, also playing in 35 games last season, Alexa Holland, who registered 128 hits, Brittany Keene, who scored 5 runs this last season, Alexis Molesky, who scored 10 runs and 1 stolen base last season, and finally, Taylor Saxton, who played in all 60 games for Ohio. Congratulations to the 10 Bobcats for representing Ohio academically and on the diamond. On to the majors. The pressure's on for the Indians tonight. Cleveland will host the Yankees in a winner-take-all Game 5 in the best-of-the-5 American League Division Series. The Yankees and the Indians are tied for 2-2, and the winner will advance onto the American League Championship Series and face the Houston Astros. Pitching ace Corey Kluber is expected to take the mound to start the Indians off tonight, and designated hitter Edwin Encarnacion may be back in the starting lineup as well. Encarnacion missed the past 2 games due to a sprained ankle. First pitch is set for 8:08 p.m. And October not only calls for more baseball, but the start of hockey, and the Columbus Blue Jackets are off to a great start. The Jackets beat the Hurricanes in overtime last night 2-1. Rookie Sonny Milano is right at home on the Blue Jackets. He scored his first goal as a Blue Jacket last week against the New York Islanders and came in clutch for the team last night, scoring twice, including the game-winning shot. Milano totals 4 goals for the team this season thus far. The Jackets will take the ice again on Friday at 7 p.m. to face the New York Rangers. And that's all we have for sports tonight. Back to you for weather.
Thank you, Kellyanne. Looking at tonight for tomorrow for Athens, 70 degrees, partly sunny skies, cooler than it was earlier today, and winds will be calm. And then tomorrow, for extended forecasts, looking at very beautiful conditions as we head into our weekend, mostly sunny skies with a chance for rain Sunday. Back to you, Jacob.
Thanks, Jordan. And that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. I'm Jacob Solother. Stay tuned for the TBS News Hour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime at woub.org. Have a great night.
I'm Gridiron Glory host Joseph Payton. Every Friday night, live at 11:30, we will have a jam-packed show for you with everything that went down on the local gridiron that night. From every touchdown pass to every crushing hit, Gridiron Glory is your #1 source for all things Southeast Ohio football. So please be sure to tune into our show and also follow us on Twitter and Snapchat at Gridiron Glory, and of course like us on Facebook. I promise you won't want to miss out, because remember, there's nothing better than Friday nights and gridiron glory.